have a checklist to get ready for the warmer months.
If not, we're going to share with you our top 7 maintenance items we hit every year to get ready for the warmer months.
Hi, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
And I'm Annette Grant.
And together we are
Thanks for visiting. We've been hosting for well over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests, and earned thousands of 5-star reviews.
Our portfolio continues to bring in over 1.5 million year over year, and supported not only by the industry's leading brands, but also some of the biggest media outlets.
And we're here to help you with your furnished rental. For so many of us, we're heading into our peak season, and we want to make sure that our property is in peak shape.
Just air the home out with some fresh air for an afternoon.
Yes, let the fresh air in.
So open up all windows, let that cross air go through the property. While you're doing that, make sure every single window has the capability to easily lock. Your guest is going to feel more safe when they walk into the property and all the windows are secure. If they want to unlock them to open up the window, if you allow them to, then that's great. But you want to make sure that they're able to unlock them and they're not like, well, wait a minute, this window actually can't lock and now I don't feel safe. Now is the time to double check that and make sure you don't need to improve that functionality.
And this is for any sort of emergency. You want to make sure that every bedroom, all of the egress, if something were to happen, they can easily get those windows open and be able to exit the property. So I know there are so many homes that are older and maybe they're painted shut. This is just a huge time to be able to go through, make sure safety is at peak also.
So there's tracks inside of the window as well, where the windows maybe slide open and close or open and close, depending on what kind of windows you have. Now's a great time. I like to use a steamer to get in those tracks, maybe even a toothbrush and some soapy water, and just clean it out. Doing this once a year is great. And then also, if you want to put the screens in, make sure the screens are clean, dust-free, the exterior of the window is washed. If you need to hire professionals, get on their rosters now because everyone else is having the same thought as you are. And remember, keeping our properties, our product in top condition and looking great really shows our guests how much we care.
Number 2, schedule routine maintenance for your HVAC, your AC. We want to make sure we get ahead of the AC. We all know that summer months, HVAC companies, they get super busy. We don't want to wait until your first summertime guest checks in, they try to crank the AC, and it's not working. Okay, you have to get in front of this. So you should already have your routine maintenance scheduled. If not, don't delay. Do it today, and you want to make sure they're coming out. You're changing your filters. They're doing a check on it. Make sure everything is in tip-top shape. And here's the deal with this. If you can get ahead of this, this is one of those things that really, it can ruin a guest's entire vacation, and we do not want that happening. So even if it's a little bit of an investment, you know, to do this maintenance, to have them come out ahead of time, it is going to pay for itself, no questions asked.
Make sure when your technician comes out, they're also taking care of, yes, hopefully you're changing your filters as instructed, but if you've got mini split units, right, there's other components of these mechanicals that need cleaned. And if you don't know how to do it, or you're not sure how to take it apart and safely maintain the piece of equipment that you are asking them or asking they have that service available to you. Especially like outside with the AC unit, are there leaves compounded around it? Is there a bunch of like, I don't even know what it is. It's like stuff that sticks to the side of the AC unit. Do they clean those coils? Can you clean those coils? How do we get these things looking great and operating great? If you don't know what the Forgot Something basket is, you'll have to check a video out that we have about it because it's one of our secret weapons and we share it with all of you because it's such a simple thing. I actually didn't even know it was special. And then Annette years ago was like, this is such a cool thing. I was like, okay.
If you don't know what it is, I'll just tip you in really quick. Please watch a video about it. But it's essentially having a front desk, a concierge at your short-term rental without actually having a front desk. You're being able to supply the guest with anything they might have forgot. Hence the name Forgot Something basket. So normally it's filled with toiletries. And in the summer months, we like to equip it with some summer-friendly amenities like...
Yeah, so we're going to have sunscreen in there, bug spray, aloe vera. What else can you think of that might be appropriate for your short-term rental in the warmer months? But I'm telling you, the amount of times we get reviews. People will even say like, I didn't even use the thing in the basket, but the fact that they have this is so cool. Or the one time a guest went to a baseball game to watch their son play in some sort of traveling championship that was happening in our area. And she's like, I blew her mind that we had aloe vera gel in the basket. She goes, because we got sunburned and I just couldn't believe that Sarah had thought about that. So changing out your forgot something basket to accommodate your guests for the season that you're in is a great way to keep that amenity living and breathing and accommodating them for where they're at.
Number 4, your outdoor furniture and patio safety check.
So listen, if you don't take your patio furniture in the wintertime, I know some of you can't, there may not be any storage space. Hopefully you're covering them, because here's the deal. The different screws and pieces of hardware that keep the furniture together can start to fail over time if you expose them to the elements, which can expose your guests to some serious safety concerns. One of our good friends who is an international safety expert, Justin Ford, always tells us the story of how a hammock severely impacted a guest when a screw or some sort of hardware
Snapped, like the hook that kept it, taut there, it snapped back.
And hit them in the head and caused some serious damage to that guest. And obviously it weighs on him to this day. So those sorts of things you want to make sure that you're avoiding. But you also make sure it's clean and fresh and ready for guests to use.
Yeah, and when we say patio safety too, it's like thinking. A lot of us have, let's say, pavers, walkway pavers. We have just, let's say, your deck in general, anything that the weather elements have been sitting on or, taking a beating over the winter. You want to make sure that there aren't slips, trips, falls, that things have not like serious corrosion happening. So you want to go through your whole outdoor space. I'm like, as we're doing this video, I've been like whispering to Sarah because we have a property. I'm like, oh, we need to go check on our pavers and we need to check on our fencing. All of it needs a double check since it's been out in the elements all winter long.
Number 5 are landscaping and lawn maintenance prep. So if you work with a vendor to take care of your lawn care, your outdoor maintenance, reconnect with them now, because everyone else is doing the same. What's their pricing this year? Let's go over what we expect you to do. How often will you be out to cut the grass? Does that include weeding? Does it include weeding everywhere or just in certain spots? It's always great to reconnect and make sure you and your vendor are on the same page, and make sure you understand what that pricing is going to be so that you can factor it into your budget.
And if you self-maintain the property, taking a look, is your mower ready? Is the hose ready? Is your trimmer ready? All of those things have got to be ready to go. You don't want to be caught, getting ready for a guest to check in and like, oh, I need to mow the lawn, and you're not able to.
I don't know about you either, but when it comes to planting, I don't have the greenest of thumbs. My expertise lies inside the home, and I have no idea when the best time to plant things is. And we all know that first impressions are everything to guests, and walking up to a property and being greeted by green plants or really colorful flowers is actually a really important aspect of getting that 5-star review on value and check-in process. So make sure if you need to replant, I always forget, it's annuals and perennials. You need to replant the annuals, right?
No, I think it's reverse.
I have no idea, you
It's
guys.
okay.
But
It's
here's
okay.
what I'm telling you is that if you have to replant the plants, there are certain times a year I know you can do it and you can't do it. And what if what's supposed to come back didn't come back? Now is the time to get on top of all of that. What about mulch? Maybe this year you're going to upgrade to stone so you don't have to keep remulching throughout the year. There's a lot to take into consideration.
And this is a time, like, if you need some extermination services,
Yes.
make sure that they're out there taking care of everything. And then also any sort of exterior lighting, this is a perfect time. Make sure that you're changing those bulbs out. When it's dark out, we got to make sure our guests know where they're going.
Okay, story time really quick. We have a property together, like Annette just said, and it's a townhome, and there's an exterior light, and we always, if a guest is going to check in, it's part of our arrival checklist to leave the outdoor light on. And we're in a townhome situation, and so our neighbors, who all have really like tidy properties, but Annette's mom once came over and did a deep clean. And the way she cleaned this exterior light, I have been forever shooketh about how impactful it is for your exterior light to be chef's kiss clean. And then, of course, when you set it next to an exterior light that isn't that clean, you're like, oh my gosh, but the light just sparkles. It looks like you really care. So, and I'm a clean freak, and I didn't even think really about getting that. I mean, she made it look like it's brand new. So challenge yourselves. Are your exterior lights clean, free of cobwebs? The dust on top of it is gone.
Bugs, you know the bugs. That can live in
Yes, get after it because it's going to be so worth it.
there. Number 6, storm season preparedness.
All right, so depending on where you're at in the world, it could be the season for storms, whether they're thunderstorms, or maybe you live in an area where tornadoes are a thing. Regardless, weather can impact you at different times of the year, so this tip is good always. But do your guests know the safest place in your home in case of an emergency?
And it might be a storm. It might just be like a simple power outage also. We know that in areas there's heat waves that cause
Yes.
electric to go out. So we want to make sure that you've communicated with the guests. Do you have extra batteries? Do you have flashlights? Do you have extra bulbs? Are those all in one easy located place accessible to the guest? And then have that in your guidebook just in case. And then also, we always just want them to know, in case of emergency, who should they call, where should they be, give them the address, everything that's going on.
Number 7, it is time to swap seasonal amenities. Hear us out. If you, in your bedroom, offer really thick, cozy duvet covers, you might want to switch to a lighter quilt or a lighter blanket. Yes, I know the inside temps can be controlled by your thermostat, but there's still just that feeling of heaviness that you might want to remove from the bedroom, or maybe even in your living room. You've got some like more fluffy or cozier knit throw pillows and throw blankets. Trade them in for something lighter. Also, maybe it's time to get the pool stuff out again. Maybe it's time to really equip the grill outside. Yes, people can grill when it's winter, but the usage goes up in the summer. So time for a deep clean on the grill, a good safety check on the grill, especially if you're using propane or gas to heat up that grill. Is everything ready for that use? Did it all survive the winter? Does anything need to be refreshed there?
Yeah, and were there things that you put out for the winter? Did you put out maybe salt and a shovel that doesn't need to be out there during the spring months? Maybe it's time to swap out your welcome mat because it did have a lot of wear and tear over the winter. So we just want you to go to your property, have a fresh set of spring and summer eyes, and there's so many things as hosts. We're so busy, but take this list, go through, and you are going to be thanking yourselves because you don't want your guests checking in and feeling like you've just kind of cruised through the winter and haven't had any time to refresh it for the spring. Let us know in the comments your favorite part of spring cleaning. I know Sarah likes to power wash. Yeah. I actually like weeding. I know that sounds crazy, but it's so
I'm glad you like that.
Good to clean up all the weeds that have grown. It just satisfaction.
Yeah, so can't wait to see what you guys are getting after because we're all weirdos out here and we like doing weird things, and I like to see what other people like to do. And then while you're at it, if you want to continue the conversation about ways to set up your property for success, you've got to check out this video. A lot of our subscribers are loving it. It is our bathroom setup beginner's guide. It's a hot one. Check it out. With that, I am Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are.
Thanks for visiting.